Hi, it's Dr. Fred. And after Dr. Sadov's podcast today, I decided I would leave a little short here to talk a little bit about some of the things that she had talked about in her program. One of the things she mentioned was the fourth trimester. Now, a trimester suggests that there's only three trimesters, but the fourth trimester is a buzz term for the first trimester or the first 3 months after the child is born. She mentioned that a leading cause of morbidity and mortality is self harm or even suicide of the mothers who have born babies in the previous months, and that this is a significant problem inside of obstetrics and gynecology. This is a significant problem for a lot of people. This idea that there's depression and anxiety that can arise after a major life event. Certainly having a child is a major life event, and there are hormonal implications as well. So I'd like to speak to the idea of postpartum blues or postpartum depression or postpartum psychosis, which Dr. Sada brought forth in her conversation. In my way of thinking, it doesn't appear that medicines are the best way to go in that setting, although clearly some people have found relief when they've used medicine in that setting. The medicines, the antidepressants such as SSRIs, even if they're physiologically determined to be safe at that time, don't seem to provide what is necessary in order for a woman or anyone to feel whole upon taking those medicines. Although it can relieve the pain, it's sort of like what it takes to um, deal with a mosquito bite by amputating the limb that has the mosquito bite on it. For instance, if you had a mosquito bite on your elbow and I'd let you know that I could cure that mosquito bite by cutting off your arm, we could be certain that when you came back to see me a couple weeks later, you would no longer have the mosquito bite. And if you stayed myopic enough long for this process, you may even consider that a cure to the mosquito bite. However, the losses that take place with that amputation are obvious and extreme. That is my experience with using antidepressants in fourth trimester mothers, as well as anyone really in most cases of acute depression. The idea being that you, in fact, might get a remediation of the depression, but the truth is that you also get a loss of so much more of your emotional and psychological functioning as a result. So you kind of just blunt this stuff down with these medicines, and it causes more symptoms in many cases than what were there in the beginning. The idea is that these medicines often perpetuate or cause or certainly increase the symptoms that's marketed to treat. And that possibility is too high a price to pay in my world to actually medicate these mothers or medicate anyone who is in acute depression. Instead, what I'd like to bring forth is the best way to manage any kind of psychological or emotional distress is to communicate, as Dr. Sadaf also pointed out. The idea of communication, conversation, creativity, and specifically human connection as a source of all healing can't be underestimated. It can't be overestimated either. The idea here is that once you connect with somebody, once someone actually understands your experience, it's amazing what level of healing takes place, even on a physiological, apparently physical level that doesn't necessarily equate to the psychological level that you might expect changes. So it isn't like it's all in your head. It's just that communication, connection, uh, and conversation are at the heart of all healing of all conditions of all type. And that includes in not only the physiological type or the physical type, but also the mental health type. A little more clear with the mental health type, this idea that connecting with another person can just not only feel very good, to have somebody kind of know what it's like to be in your shoes, as Dr. Sadaf did point to when she was speaking to a woman gynecologist's connection to her women patients. There's some special extra added attraction to getting someone having already experienced what they're experiencing. What I'm suggesting here is that discomfort, human discomfort, is ubiquitous and is universal, and that we all have an understanding of what that discomfort can be, whether that's through generational experiences or through personal experiences or through having lived our own experiences that resonate with the other person. Once we can connect with another person such that they realize that we get what their experience is, that's when the healing actually takes place and sometimes takes place instantaneously. I have a friend who used to work with pediatrics and would claim regularly that knee pain, foot pain, and even earaches would go away as long as they could connect with their pediatric patients and their parents. This is often the case in my experience as well, is that the pain and suffering from um, whatever conditions you have goes away almost instantly when you can share it with another person or have another person actually get you or resonate with you or harmonize with you or actually be aligned with what your experience is. So that's the part of the healthy healer that I'd like to put forth here. The way to be a healthy healer is to be aligned, not only with yourself, but with the people around you. If being a healthy healer means as a healer that you get to align with other folks as a way of healing them, what's most important is that you are in general healed yourself, meaning that you're aligned with yourself. And if you are misaligned with what you're doing with your life, who you're presenting to other people can't really resonate. It's like a tuning fork that's out of tune, won't be able to connect with the associated tuning fork that it otherwise harmonizes with. So, inside of healing the healer, the opportunity exists to refine your core values, refine what really matters to you, and bring that forth. The idea, again, is that if we're going to connect with other people as a source of healing, it's really critical that we're connected with ourselves and aligned and congruent with what we're doing with our lives, whether that's in our occupation or in our communication with our loved ones, our family, our friends, our bosses, our colleagues. It's very important that we stay in touch with being aligned with ourselves so that we know that what we're bringing forth is who we really are. It is impossible to actually be wealthy or to be a proper healer if, in fact, you're not aligned with yourself. Who you're bringing forth is no longer consistent with your soul, and therefore your soul won't be able to resonate with another soul, which I suppose is at the heart of the healing that I'm speaking of. Resonating harmonic souls is what's necessary in order to create the human connection and the unified intention that eventually leads to healing of all conditions of all types. Thank you very much for listening to this today. It's really important for me, for you to get that being a healed healer is what's required. So, the healthy healer and healing the healer are both aimed at having you be healed to the point that you are resonating with yourself so that you can get again realign with the person that you went into the field to become, that person with all the gifts and blessings that was ready to deliver the healing aspect of yourself that may have become misaligned over time is now due to be realigned. Welcome to the healthy healer. Welcome to healing the healer. Welcome to Dr. Fred. I'm the undoctor, and it's my greatest opportunity and my greatest honor to share these gifts with you. Stay aligned, stay healing, stay a healer. It's a pleasure. Welcome to humanity. Bye for now.